Hi, this is Julian for Production Expert. I've got a nice trick that can be done using this plugin, Oxford Envolution. I'll show you what it does usually, but then I'll get on to something useful that you can do to do with delays. So in this case, we've got this pluck line, you can probably hear there. I've listened to that, and the drums, and then listen to what happens when I bypass this pair of inserts. It's kind of subtle, but what you should be hearing is what's happening to the drums. Some rather compressed, slightly flat sounding drums. Good, but very compressed. Become a bit more dynamic, particularly the kick. And while nothing's changed about that pluck sound, what has changed is the sound of the delays. So let's get straight into it with, I'll jump in with this beat first, and that's what we're looking at here. So here's how it sounds. And it's very, very compressed. That kick is more of a kind of a than a ba. Now that's baked in. This is a sample. And that's the kind of thing that Envolution can really help with. That's because it's a transient enhancer, but it can also affect the sustain portion. I'll show you what I mean. Suddenly we've got lots of kick drum there. You can also affect the sustain portion. I'll bypass the transient bit that processes the transients, and if we bring up the sustain, it's getting even more, which is quite nice, but you can also really dry it up. Really quite a dramatic effect there. Not really what I'm after here. Here, what I'm doing is I'm really, really boosting those transients. Take them back down. And you can do, I mean, we're clipping now. We'll let the clipping go. And what's more, I've focused it using this frequency control onto the bottom end. So I can focus more, or I can focus towards the top end, or actually I should be referring to that as tilt, because there is a focus mode where you can really either exclude or include an area of the frequency spectrum. But if we go back to tilt, kind of wind that in and just increase the sensitivity so it's listening out for kicks more than it is snares. And then what we get if we hit the difference, and that's kind of what the plugin's adding, if you like. So that's conventional use of Envolution. What about these delays? Well, I think we should probably solo those up and have a listen to what was going on before. So with this pluck sound, there's a real sharp da-da-da. It's nice, it's a bright sound. And I've added some delay, some dotted delays onto there. We have a look at what's going on in the delay. Now, there's only a certain amount of that I can use in context before the delays kind of start to take over a little. And you can't really tell what's dry and what's wet anymore. So to bring the dry signal to the front, but let the delays, keep a reasonable amount of delays. What a lot of people might do is they might lean in on some filtering. We'll solo these again so we can hear what's going on. And if I filter, it pushes the repeats to the back, but we lose the brightness because it's a low pass filter. If I want to keep that brightness, but lose the transient, lose a jank, the spit at the front, well, that's exactly what I can use Envolution for. So in this case, what I'm doing is, we'll listen to that without. Actually, what we'll do is I've got this set up on a pre-fade send so we can lose the dry altogether. Just listen to the delays. And that transient's intact on there. But by pulling the transients down and excluding them, then what we can do is focus that delay more onto the sustain portion as much as there is of that pluck sound. Winding that back in with the dry. And then you can use more of it without losing the differentiation between the dry and the wet. Leave the dry sound at the front, but without losing the brightness on the delay repeats. It's a really nice technique. So there's two different uses for Oxford Envolution. One to do with traditional transient processing and sustained processing, but using transients process to pull the transients down, feeding into a delay, it's a really nice way to, as an alternative to filtering your delay send.